do, 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 do. Boops. We are live.
Oh yes, it is Wednesday, time for the show that you've been waiting for, coming on directly after Linux Weekly Daily Wednesdays. But since you're here anyway, we might as well sit back together and watch it. You know what? Yeah. I might even participate. How's everybody doing? We got a little bit for you this week. What are we talking about? Nonlinear video editors, because they are exciting. Firefox is old.
Yay,
it's 100.
it is.
And this is not a repeat from 6 years ago. We got a new version of Unity out, and we're going to play around with it. It's going to be a thing. It's going to melt your mind. But, we even got a little bit of feedback this week. We got a legitimate 100%, not from Concentrate. Well, actually. And
yes.
We got to get back to it because we want to be sure, we're technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. If you missed out on the pre show that we were just doing, Jill and I were discussing the benefits of drinking lobster.
Yeah. Yay. Yum. Aw. Thank you, Arthur. And yeah, I'm much better. So I'm starting yesterday. I was pretty much back to normal.
So Jill is going to be going to Disney World, and Steve is going to cover her in birthday stickers.
Yeah. Buttons.
Buttons.
Yeah. They used to have stickers, but now they just use buttons.
That's what you don't know. Steve's buying birthday stickers. He's going to see them put on it. Oh, man.
Oh, nice. Alex. Yeah. Actually, you can drink lobster bisque soup. Oh,
you can drink
my favorite.
A lot of stuff with the right blending technology.
Yeah.
That's why I don't own one of those crazy powerful blenders, because no one wants to drink broomstick.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful, Alex. Say hello. Hello, everyone, to System 76 watching. I love you all. We love you all.
Does make you wonder what capybara tastes like. Some pretty good capybara recipes on the internet.
Aww. Poor Matthew's going to be horrified.
I don't know. Maybe not. All right, we got about 8 minutes before go time. Does anybody have anything wild and wacky that's went on since we were last here?
No, I was too busy feeling horrible. Having the flu, and then it triggering my acid reflux really bad and giving me heart palpitations and all the bad stuff. But other than that, I am doing good. And yesterday was Trackmania, and that was fun.
That was pretty decent. Everybody got around.
Yeah.
We had some races going on real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Taking a look at compute. Is that how you call your computer, cat? Pie.
Yeah. Compute.
Right. I want okay, Google, take me to the homepage of that PlayStation emulator. Which one?
Oh, awesome, Arthur, and get your deck. Yay. I am so bummed. I was Q1, and now they've pushed it. It says on my page Q2 April to June. So it should be early in May, I'm hoping, because it originally said Q1 for me, but
oh, no.
Things have been delayed. So
did they change the date range for Q2?
Yes, they did. Because originally it was supposed to be through May. And then June was supposed to start Q3. But it's understandable. I mean, shortage and getting things out there is hard. They have, Valve has them all, but they are... I know there were issues too, especially here in Los Angeles. A lot of my friends, other than Strider, have been late receiving theirs. So even though, I was able to get my reservation the first few hours of it being available.
You got to think about it this way. I mean, in all fairness, Strider's second Steam Deck didn't show up until a little bit later. There was a couple of days.
It was a couple of days. That was pretty quick. That was awesome. But he was probably right there on the morning of. I woke up late, and that's what happened. I would have. Oh, I know. I was like, oh shoot, I forgot.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see something pick up. Because it's not 100% everybody who pre-ordered it. That bill finally comes due, and sometimes I'm like, you know what? Maybe I don't really need it, and I'm sure those are getting rolled into releases. So
yeah,
stay in high spirits. Stay in high spirits.
Definitely, and they said they're now to check the emails will be coming on Mondays and Thursdays, so they're ramping it up. That's cool.
Strider, you know full well I know.
Yeah, it was Tanis's deck.
I said you received it. Go back, rewind the tape. I didn't say you owned it. Pay attention.
Okay, I will be right back.
Well, actually. I don't know, man. I will buy a Steam Deck. I just got done waiting a full 10 months to get a video card, so I'm good. I'm good on the waiting. I will pick up a Steam Deck when I can click it, and it'll show up in like 4 days. To play around with, because let's be real. One of the last things I'm going to do in the Steam Deck is play games on it. I'm trying to make it do everything else. So I want the people who want to get out there and play games on it to have it in their hands, not mine. You're still waiting on your pre-order? So you put in a pre-order, you got Tanis's, and Valve sent you one. Is that right? Well, yeah. Here's what I want Valve to release, everyone. Give me a Steam Deck minus the controllers and the screen. Give me a Steam Brick. Because that's a lot of compute power for $300. Man, like $300, I could replace like these boxes under the desk running all these systems over here. Steam Brick, yeah, I'd buy a brick skin for it, put it on it. No, you wouldn't do that. I'd buy a companion cube skin and put it on it. Allegedly. But I just think that would be dope. For people like me, or if you want it for your home theater PC, right? You want the Steam Deck experience, but on the big screen. I think it'd be pretty neat. Yeah. Oh, man. Want to live in that perfect world. But until then, I will be more than content having a Steam Deck in full, like, octopus mode. With cables flowing out everywhere. Trying to get it. Just see what I'd make it do. Yeah, Deck Nook. Because Nooks, what's the first thing that comes to mind when I say Nook? And if your answer is correct, it should be expensive. I've still like perused Nooks. Wicked expensive. I'm wrong. Wicked expensive. Way too pricey for what they are. Also, I'm not a big fan of putting electronics in thermal death boxes. I get it. I mean, there's got to be like a challenge to see how much you can like cram into a small case. Little tiny cases people do. And they're like, I broke all my fingers trying to get in there. It's like, no, it went in fine. You just dislocate these two fingers and you can plug that right in. Not going to work my hands, but yeah, a little Nook, that'd be awesome. Especially with that much GPU behind it. That'd make me very happy. Speaking of GPUs, we are on... The sheet of nylon is still in place, separating my 3060 from my Noctua Threadripper cooler. Good nylon. I check it periodically. You know what? It works. let me get that put together. And I was taking a look at this. We'll talk about some gaming stuff before we get started, because we don't really do gaming on this show. Did you see the Steam survey results? Did you see that? Pretty crazy. It might not be, if you don't typically follow like Linux percentages, but in the latest survey, 1.14%. I haven't seen it that high ever. And what we were just talking about, Q2 shipments are still going up. So that's a significant bump. I genuinely think we'll be seeing at least 2%. I'll stick by what I originally said, by the end of July. You know what? I got Apex running. I played Apex for about, you know what? How long did I play Apex? Maybe 10, 12 minutes. Why? Because Apex was not initially a free game, but it was a free game that came with my 2060 all those years ago. And when Valve finally got the easy anti-cheat thing working with Proton, it downloaded it, I started it, I ran around in the beginning tutorial thing, closed it, uninstalled it. That's how it went. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm first-person shootered out, but... And I can't say that because, you know, what are we doing right now? We're playing Back 4 Blood. But like, I've been watching a lot of people play the Overwatch 2 beta. Admittedly, I've never played the original Overwatch, but that looks an awful lot like the regular Overwatch. I don't know what the big difference is. They put a 2 on it, so I assume it's better. Maybe it's not. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, finding people to play with is... I don't understand how people play with randos. I remember playing with randos. I grew up playing with randos because, you know, in the late 90s, mid to late 90s, we didn't really have voice chat. Didn't have the bandwidth for it. At best, we would send some texts. You know, you'd get your GGs. Hello, Gamatron. Hello. Oh, Jill's back. I'm going to get something to drink, man.
Okay.
I'll get something to drink, and I'm not going to run. I might possibly moonwalk. I've been known to do that sometimes, because I got socks on.
Oh, okay. Walk slowly. That's what I wear socks around the house.
I tend not to, because I got a lot of place to slide, and I'm the person who will continue sliding and sliding and sliding until I have that massive crash. I'm like, you know what? Let's put some traction back on our feet, because I'm a grown adult.
Yeah. Hello, need more need more Soma. Oh, that's a great game. If that's what your name is referring to, or sleep, I guess. Yeah, Alex. So, I know Emma says sometimes they would watch LWW in the break room when they were on their lunches. That's System 76. Aw. I will get to see her in July at Scale again. I'm so happy. Do, 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 do. Oh, Brave New World. Okay. Cool. Oh, the mouse wheel. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've done that one time. I've used it for gaming. Not that often, but I have, I think, a few times. Apex, cool. I've just started playing Apex. That's awesome. Yay, I know, I'm so happy about Fall Guys. Because, when it first came out, we could play it on Linux, and then they enabled the EAC, so I'm so happy we're back to being able to play it again, because that's such a fun party game. I like wobbly physics like that, games like that. Arthur says, not my cup of chainsaw. Oh, yeah, yeah. The internet is so great for connecting with old friends and family. Yeah, that. I could see that as a great party game. Apex broke for me on my pop. Oh. Oh, okay.
I'll have everyone know I did not skate slide in my socks once. However, I have expended every ounce of adulting that I plan to use for the rest of the day.
Very good, Ben. Yeah, so sorry, no more Soma.
What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, on Pop! OS 22.04, Apex, he said Apex Legends isn't working, and I haven't tried it since I upgraded on Pop.
It's always interesting all the different body kits people put on their Debians.
Yeah, and no more Soma. We have lots of people from System 76 in our community, including several people who work there, like Alex and Linux Guru and Cheese Bacon. Oh, CS:GO broke. Oh, well, I haven't tested those games yet. All the games I've been playing work fine.
All right.
Blame your breakage on Alex. No.
No, man. That takes all the sport out of it, Arthur. You can't elaborate. Just be like, no, man, this is broke. It's dumb. Format. Don't do that.
Aw. Alex says everything's my fault.
All right. We shouldn't be good. Let's come in.
Yeah.
Okay. I upgraded the Raspberry Pi that's running the Steam Deck, and it didn't explode, which was nice. I always get nervous when I see pip update and it's compiling the wheel. I'm like, come on.
Oh, yeah. It makes my Stream Deck work good.
Running Bitfocus Companion, and it's updating its web server that's powering the Raspberry Pi, and the Steam Deck's plugged into it. But I'm like, come on. And it takes forever to do it on a Raspberry Pi because, let's face it, even a quad core takes a minute to build stuff. All right.
Aw, Alex, that's so nice to say about Linux Guru. Yeah, he's your friend, and they live together in at their house in Colorado. And you guys are moving, I guess, or getting a bigger place, Alex?
He's only saying that because he hasn't known him long enough.
Oh, I've known... Linux Guru was one of the first people I talked with when I started chatting here on LGC, since just after episode 52. Well, I started listening to LGC in episode 50. And then a couple years after that, then I came into chat. About a year after.
Linux Guru was our first listener from Tanzania.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I remember I started in chat in episode 75. That was it. Yep.
And if you held a loaded kitten to my head and said, Ven, what episode did you bring live chat on? I couldn't tell you. Oh, I couldn't tell you what episode it was, but I can tell you the first night me and Jordan finally get everything working to do a live chat. And kids, we're talking like this is almost 10 years ago. Maddie. Maddie was
Maddie 19. Yeah.
Maddie was our entire audience for the live stream.
Yeah. He was one of the first I talked to, too.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to do a show, everyone. Let me...
See, number 1, Linux Ginaroo.
Here's number 2.
Number 2, Arthurian. Aw, Arthurian, you're number 1 also. To me.
Wait, is that it? Nope. There it is. You know, eventually I'm just going to plug in 2 more Pulse Audio Jack module syncs and go back to using VLC. You collect emojis? Oh, man. I get it. I collect subreddits. That's my hobby.
Yeah, Alex, I got quite a few of them, too. I like the Discord emojis and the Twitch emojis.
I mean, you need popes with bazookas? I got you covered. Trees nodding on things? Great subreddit. Like just random, obscure tarantulas with hats. A little bit of everything. All right. Visible in that shot? 117.
Oh boy. Yeah. So I probably have over 1,000 stickers, and I'm not not exaggerating. I got over 1,000 stickers on this cabinet because I have them on either side as well. But so these are stickers. Most of them are from Skill, and but all the other conferences I've been to, and then of course all the podcasts I do, they're on there. Yeah, and it's neat because I have this cabinet. It was just supposed to be temporary, and now it's changed to permanent because I've got it covered full of cool stickers, all my cool stickers. But what I do is every sticker that's on that cabinet, I have an extra copy of in a scrapbook. So those aren't all my original masters. Fortunately, I have another collection of them. So I do that whenever I'm at Scale. I always ask for 2 or 3 stickers from every booth so that I could, display it on the cabinet and then have ones to keep that haven't been modified for my collection.
Steve, we've been over this on multiple occasions, my man. We cannot put headphones on the car.
Yeah.
Or headphone res.
Hi, S4RC1NA. Cool. Oh, a car. Oh, Gamatron, yeah. I need to make a skin for myself.
As long as it's not Hello Kitty, I got that on lockdown.
Yeah, you do.
I want you to be angered and motivated. Want a pink Hello Kitty car beat you. I'm going to catch it. All right. I'm good to go. Jill, are you good to go?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, I'm a sticker hoarder and a computer hoarder. Yes, I have over 600 computers in my collection. I need to count as of over a year ago. I have more than that now.
Ready? All right. Locked and loaded. Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays, where we sit back, relax, take
Hello.
that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux open source. I'm Vin, that's Jill, that's you, watching us live after the fact. Maybe they're listening to us, Jill. Wouldn't it be odd
Yeah.
if you were just watching the show, weren't listening, didn't have closed captioning on or anything like that? You're like,
Yeah.
that'd be weird. You walk into a room, you see somebody, they're watching TV, get sound off.
Yeah, that would would be strange.
Would you ask them what they were doing?
Yes.
I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
I would walk out of the room backwards very slowly as not to disturb them. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. You got a birthday coming up, though.
Yeah, I do. This Sunday. So me and my husband in the afternoon and late into the evening, we'll be enjoying most of the day at Disneyland. Yay!
You're going to get covered in buttons.
Yes, I will be wearing my birthday button.
It doesn't work for Steve, though. I mean, you can have some fun with Steve and get him to wear the button. Put the button on you. You're like, what else?
Yeah. We did. We put the button of shame on Steve last month for his birthday, and he got sung to on the Ride Star Tours. That was pretty cool. So
Hopefully
I
it
will probably
didn't
get sung
embarrass
to. Yeah. But yeah, so I want to thank Jordan for filling in for me last week when I was sick. Thank you so much, Jordan. That worked out really nicely. That he could you could do LWW on Thursday with Jordan.
That was one of the things. If you don't know Jordan, go back and watch that. Jordan's the one who named the show because we were just having a
Yeah, absolutely.
creative meeting one night, and this is what we came up with. And we did joke at the time all those years ago, like, and we'll do it on Thursdays. So we had an opportunity to do one on Thursdays.
Yeah.
There we are. I got a couple of updates to tell everyone about.
Okay.
We have switched over to doing video on Spotify. So if you follow us on Spotify, you can now watch us, but we had to update the feed for that. That's been in the works for a while. All that got pushed out. Same for Linux Gamecast Weekly. If that's your jam, I'm just letting everybody know because that flipped over at the end of last week, and the emails have been coming in one at a time. When I'm like, hey, I need to announce that how everything's working. But outside of that, we've been racing around in circles. We're doing the Trackmania thing, which is not Rocket League. We've been over that multiple times. It's a physics platformer that happens to have wheels.
Yeah.
Runs on a calculator. It's really cheap, and it's a good excuse for Linux loving miscreants to get together on Tuesdays and Fridays. Speaking of Fridays, Joe, who are you going to beat this week?
I did beat you once yesterday.
I thought you beat me twice. You almost beat me twice.
Twice, okay.
I got lucky because we were doing that Quidditch. Here's what, so it's a racing, no, that Quidditch map we were playing at the end. And I got lucky right at the end of that. And
yeah, that was a good one.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. We got some wild and wacky maps coming in, but I saw something that I had to put in the show this week.
Oh.
Had to put in the show because I you ever just write something off? You're like, oh, well, that was a good experiment. We'll never hear from it again. It's a shame. Maybe it would have been interesting
Yes.
if it had evolved into a different product and rise from your grave, as Altered Beast would say.
And that thing that Ven is speaking of is Unity 7.6. Yes, Unity 7.6 has been released for testing and is back in active development. And yes, that's the controversial desktop manager created by Canonical that had replaced GNOME 2 and Ubuntu 11 years ago. If you can believe that. It's awesome.
I don't want to believe that. That was like 2 years ago, Jill. What are you talking about?
No. I was just amazed on how long ago it was. Oh my gosh, 11 years ago. Because me and you, Van, have been using Linux way before that, but I still can't believe it was that long ago.
Oh, come on, Jill.
we've
There's
had
nothing
Unity.
more satisfying than having somebody come up to you and like, well, I've been using Linux for 9 years. And you're like, oh, you knew.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Me and you have been using it since 1993.
Decades. Which
Yes.
that doesn't do anything because I will tell you I knew nothing about Linux if you ask me.
Yes. So with Unity, a lot of people either loved it or hated it. Personally, I liked Unity, especially in the last few versions when it became faster and more responsive. And there are several reasons why. One is the HUD and Dash search were actually very progressive and honestly reinvented the way we use traditional menus. Love that or hate that. It's actually, brought a lot to the Linux ecosystem, and elements of Unity are actually in use today in many modern desktops like the newer GNOME. So it goes to show you, that's the beauty of Linux and being able to create your own desktop managers and your own apps. They help each other grow and put new innovation and ideas into other elements of the desktop.
I've always said that about Canonical. A lot of people get on Canonical and still do to this day. But one thing Canonical has done, they don't do it so much these days, but back in the day, they were doing these moonshot things. And by that, I mean trying stuff that probably wasn't going to work, but the R&D and maybe something else will come out of that project. Things like the Ubuntu phone, Unity, Mirror.
Synergy. Yeah.
So maybe something good's come out of this. I don't know. Out of curiosity, we were talking about this in the pre-show. If you're Patreon, go back and listen to that on the UNCUT series. But I want to ask anyone in chat right now, did Unity ever run on anything that wasn't Debian related, like out of the box? Did it ship with any other distros? Because I couldn't find one. I couldn't think of one, I should say. I didn't do any extensive searching, but that's what I wanted to see. Like, did any other distribution have Unity out of the box? I remember way back in the day, before it was officially released, I downloaded, compiled it. It was kind of in a rough state because my initial impression of Unity before it was rolled out and was like, that's it? Huh. But this one's got like better resource management too, though, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I actually noticed I've been playing with Ubuntu Unity 22.04 since it was released last week. And I've noticed how much more memory efficient and the desktop feels much quicker. And so this version of Unity 6.7 is supposed to be even lower in RAM usage and reduced substantially to about 700 to 800 megabytes or less, which is really good. Actually, it's supposed to be lower than 708 to 800. So that's substantial because that was one of the big problems with Unity on launch. It was a memory hog.
Oh, man. And remember when RAM, like having 8 gigs was like, I'm good. Oh, it's taking up a lot of RAM. These days, you don't even think of it unless you have to buy DDR5. Geez, that stuff is crazy expensive still. But out of curiosity, and due diligence, this morning when I came into the studio, I cloned the Git repository, got everything together, ran build up on it. It only needed about 15 things. That's not available on Debian 11, so that's kind of where my experiment ended. Now, it would be interesting to see this packaged for other distributions, something outside of the Ubuntu sphere, wider adoption. Because you got to imagine people running POP are going to run whatever POP has. And if you're running Ubuntu default, more than likely you're running GNOME 4, right?
Yeah.
I just, more desktops, more better. That's the way I feel about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it looks like there's a visual GUI revamp for it too. It's much more, I'd say much more modern looking with the HUD and the dash and also the docks and menus, more modern and sleek and kind of flatter looking. Yeah. So they went that route. Yeah.
It's a bit shouty for my taste, but
it's nice and purple. Lots of purple theming.
There it is. Go play with it. I just caught me off guard because you see those headlines roll by and you're like, Unity? Because when you think Unity, what do you think? Game engine these days, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, there's a new version of Unity. And I'm like, oh, that's not, wait, what? That Unity? And there it is. So, and there's got to be some diehards. Clearly, there's some diehards, dedicated fans of the technology and the desktop that are still playing around with it. And I know for a lot of you out there, that was probably the first thing, your first desktop manager with Linux, out of the box.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
could have been something you missed. Firefox
Yeah.
100, Joe.
Wow. Firefox turns 100 versions of Firefox. I never thought I'd live to see that day. Definitely.
Well, I think they've kind of played a little fast and loose with the numbering recently.
Yeah, they absolutely they have. So yeah, the first 3-digit version of Mozilla's Firefox web browser has been released, and it now supports captions and subtitles display on YouTube, Prime Video, and Netflix on videos when you watch them in picture-in-picture, which is really cool. All you have to do is turn on the subtitles on the in-page video player, and they will appear in picture-in-picture video. So that's pretty cool. And this Firefox spell checking now checks spelling in multiple languages. That is wonderful to know for my favorite open source web browser. The more support for languages, the better, especially because of the worldwide use of Linux. This is great. And a lot of distros come pre-installed with Firefox. And also HDR video is now supported in Firefox on Mac watching YouTube videos. Yes, that's for Mac, but I am sure this feature will be here soon for us Linux users.
I don't know. I'm looking at the preferred color schemes, and I'm like, what are these other three? Firefox theme, system theme. Like, why
Light,
are those?
dark.
Yeah, what are those three in there for?
Huh.
I mean, it should just default to dark. You don't.
Yeah, it should just. It gives you choice, Ben.
I don't understand these three other confusing choices, Joe.
Oh, no, I think that's great. And Firefox has always made it really easy to change the backgrounds on websites and the colors and with extensions, and now it's just built in. And also scroll bars on Linux and, yes, also Windows 11 won't take space by default in the browser. But if you still want to see a visual cue of your scroll bars on Linux, you can just change the settings and to turn back on the scroll bars. So no problem there. I personally like the kind of modern look without them showing up. They're just over there on the right-hand side when you click. I think that's cool.
That's a pretty neat feature. Now, like the YouTube video player. So how does it, the subtitles are going to work when you click the closed captioning now?
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty neat because you just can't, when I think about closed captioning, like we do live closed captioning right now, and it's better than YouTube's closed captioning after the fact 5 years ago. But 5 years ago, YouTube closed captioning was hilarious to read. It was
I remember that. Then
raw comedy. Like, I'm definitely going to power update the dolphin. Like, what? I was talking about kernels, and that's kind of gone. That's a good feature to have. And if you're watching this with Firefox on Twitch, we got closed captionings coming out live right now, and they're 95% accurate. Not too bad. But here's something I want to tell everyone, because ran into this with Chrome recently, and they even put this in the notes. Some websites might not work correctly in Firefox due to the version 100. That new 3-digit number.
Oh, boy.
That's
Is
right.
it like a new millennium? 2001?
The internet never planned on triple-digit browser versions.
Yeah.
You can look into the root cause of that, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. If you run into some sites, you're like, what's not where? That's what the problem is. And this is something I thought was kind of neat. New users can set Firefox as the default PDF handler, which is neat,
very nice.
because I never think about that directly. Normally, when I hit a PDF, it's just whatever browser I happen to be in, because having what do you think in 2022 is your PDF reader is usually a browser, right? You don't have a separate one. You might. I know I personally don't. But that's good that you can set it as the default, because Chrome's going to try to do that.
Yes, true. And I've been using Firefox for my default PDF viewer for many years, so this is just makes sense.
It's just handy to have.
Yeah.
And I did test it, downloaded the binary, worked out of the box on Debian 11, And if you want is it available as a snap yet? I don't know.
I don't know, but I just downloaded it from Mozilla's website on Pop and Ubuntu.
You can't. That's too complex, Jill, to uncompress a
That's
BZ.
so.
No, and drop it in a folder. Nope, too crazy.
You know what? I've been doing that for years since been using Debian in the early years of Linux, and I just still do it.
Nope, too complex. There's too many steps involved in that. I need you to install this. It'll probably get updated in your repos. It is kind of brilliant. What else do we have? Oh, right. KDN Live.
Yeah.
Non-linear video editing. That's something I've used KDN Live over the years of doing these shows. And a lot of the guides and how-to videos that I've been doing over the past decade, I used a multitude of things, sometimes just regular FFmpeg. But I think the first time I really got into using a GUI was KDN Live. And this is like really getting into it. And of course, I played with KDN Live like back in 2003.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like recently, probably, I don't know, 2011, 2012, I started using it for a couple of things and got the job done until I had that one situation to where it lost a project that I'd been working on for hours and hours and hours. And like, I'm done. Then I went to OpenShot, played with OpenShot, went back to KDE. And here we are in 2022 where I'm using DaVinci Resolve, but always keeping an eye out on KDN Live.
Yeah.
And it's got a bunch of new features Jill's going to tell you about. And I'm going to give you my little mini review in just a second.
Lots of huge features. So one of my favorite ones is it introduces new effect templates. So users can create and configure and share custom effects with each other via the KDE store and download them into the app directly. And this will help not only this will help new users. So not only can you create more advanced ready-made effects for less skilled users, but this is actually huge progress to making more industry standard features available in KDN Live that are offered in the likes of DaVinci and Adobe Premiere, et cetera, et cetera. And as I actually usually do, I downloaded and played with the KDN Live app image. And I love that they have an app image. This is just great for every new version of KDN Live. That's how we test them here at LGC. And what I really was happy with is the render dialog looks so much nicer, and there's an easier access to all the advanced video and audio settings. And actually, it looks more like older versions of the KDN Live render dialog, which I liked before they updated it in the last few versions. So I'm happy they went back to showing more of the advanced codecs and features. And the big deal here is it includes a save your current preset as a custom preset button in the render dialog, so you can use and load them as you need. And that's something I do all the time. I'm always changing the settings. I'm often using lossless audio and video. And this is just a nice way to save my settings when I need them and pop those in. It's really cool.
Yeah, 100%. And like 10-bit color doesn't currently work with the effects, but that's just something you want to keep in mind. A couple of other things. It now runs on the Apple M1 hardware.
Woohoo! Neat. Awesome.
I have nothing but raging envy for anyone who can just casually I'll just buy one to play with and kind of put Linux on it. And it's out of my price range right now. Automatically transcoding variable frame rate videos. So if you're importing that, it's just going to kind of give you a best use, probably like 30 or 60, depending on whatever it's closer to. Mm-hmm. And that rendering dialog UI went complete rewrite, not complete, but custom profile creation. And as is tradition, I did the thing I do, like new version of KDN Live. Here I come peeking up behind a tree. I'm like, grab that app image, put it on the box. In the studio, I do the video editing. It's the Redrubber 1920X, 32 gigs RAM, running Debian 11, and just kind of try to give it the business. So I took the Steam segment from Linux Steamcast Weekly from last week, what I recorded, DNX HD 290, 1080p 60, There's some video information for you. Audio, 5 channels, uncompressed, 32-bit, float, wave, PCM. I dropped it in there. And, it prompted me to change the timeline because I think the default timeline was something like 720p 30, something like that, out of the box without anything configured. Prompted me to change that to 1080p 60. I was like, hey, would you like me to do that for you? Yes, I would. Good experience there. Then I took my clip and I drug it in the timeline. And if you look, it gives you a little blink animation in the bottom center of the program that tells you there's not enough audio tracks for all streams.
Yes.
The thing is, that can confuse you. I knew to look for that, and I had to look for it. I'm like, I know there's something because, it just, kind of runs back to the bin when you drop the video file. I'm like, that's not a good experience, but there is a warning. Kind of think maybe kind of follow like maybe what Olive does or DaVinci does. I don't know about OpenShot, but if I drag something in, it's just going to automatically add the extra audio because that I have to right click and I have to click, and do that. Yeah. So that happened. Let's see, add the audio tracks manually. I had to disable normalize audio on the thumbnails. I don't know why that was on by default. Curious. I'm sure somebody can tell me. But all right. Finally got the tracks added. I drug that into the timeline or video, and I looked at my desktop, Joe.
What'd you find?
Came open. Not KDN Live because it crashed.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't give up. Never surrender.
So, never give up.
I know, man. I'm not. I'm like, I want to play with this. And I absolutely did. So, you know what? Take 2, a lot more successful. It took several minutes for the audio waveforms to render because I have 5 tracks of audio, like this show right now. I have my track. I have Jill's audio track. Then we're going to have like 2 tracks for stereo audio plus extra tracks with nothing on them, but just in case we need them. Probably took like 3.5, 4 minutes to render out the waveform thumbnail, in the timeline itself. But, scrubbing through the footage, it's very lightly compressed DNX HD 290, 5 tracks audio, everything was playing. Rendering the footage. This is something I was also curious about. And so I used hardware acceleratedness. Thus, it's experimental.
Yeah.
But it's the only way I'm going to roll in 2022.
Yeah.
And so I did what I typically export with DaVinci Resolve, which is HEVC X265, and with hardware acceleration. I hit render and it crashed. Now, it didn't crash the desktop. It gave me an error message. So I'm thinking I could probably track back and find out what's really going on. But yeah, let's see.
Awesome.
Unsolicited feedback.
Yeah. Not awesome that it crashed, but that you found a bug.
I'm going to copy and paste. I'll provide that amount of feedback, what I can. I got to reproduce it a couple more times just to make double sure, though, because then again, it didn't crash the second time I launched it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get it to render with that. And a couple of things with like the export menu in KDN Live is, what do I need for that? I want quick access to like codec, frame rate, container encoder, resolution. Basically the same thing for audio, and preferably in a drop-down menu, kind of like everything else. I want to say, hey, I want this to be in a move container. I want it to be using MPEG Layer 4 or HEVC 265. I want my audio to be PCM or IEEE float and just resolution. I've never been a fan of the export dialog in KDN Live, but I've said that, it's not a game stopper. I'm just saying compared to kind of everything else, it's the odd one.
DaVinci and Premiere and
so yeah, there is that. So right, and one last bit. We were talking about this, me and Jill. I've tasted the ability to drag and select stuff in the timeline. Not going back.
Not going back.
No, that is such a productivity, cutting up to 11, being able to grab things with the mouse and highlight and selecting and moving it around instead of like click, drag. Oh, I'd love to see that in KDN Live. Pretty please. I don't know how difficult that would be. That might be impossible and whatever. I'm just like begging politely. And yeah, so I would say I could absolutely use KDN Live 2204 in a pinch in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that doesn't sound like a glowing endorsement, but it absolutely is. I mean, it's serviceable. It's something that you can get the job done with. And
Yeah,
it's Linux.
absolutely.
There's a ton of other open source options. There's closed source options. Just interesting times. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy that they got it out. I'm looking forward to whatever they have coming up next.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite closed source, expensive, nonlinear. Actually, it's extremely cheap.
Yeah, it's very reasonable, I think.
Bargain basement price. When you tell somebody that, though, right? What,
yeah.
Like when for like software, we don't blink an eye spending $100 or like or buying 2 games, $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
$50 game here, $30 game there, $60 game here. But when it comes to something outside of games, people just go, well, I mean, sometimes you got to pay a couple bucks for software. People got to eat.
Yeah.
What I use to ship in the studio is DaVinci Resolve. If you've ever looked to install DaVinci Resolve on Ubuntu or Debian, you've probably run across one of my videos with the other 30,000 people who've seen them. There's a new beta. We talked about it not last week, but week before last.
Yeah.
18.0 beta 2 is out. I'm not going to go over a ton of stuff in this, but there is one big honking feature I've been waiting on for a long time. It has always been a curiosity of like, why can I do this? Gang of other features. But you can now export video and audio from the delivery page in LaGasp, clutch your pearls, MP3.
Woohoo!
Very excited about that because
Yeah.
up until now I had to drag everything out, export everything as WAV, bring it back
and then
into
convert it.
Audacity, right? Then make the MP3, and
Okay. Yeah.
there's gangs of other features in here. But I just wanted to give this. Here it is, right there. MP3 audio, and yay!
Oh, very
This
exciting.
is going to be the first podcast that I've exported directly from DaVinci Resolve.
Woohoo!
Like,
Oh, that's exciting,
Yeah.
man.
It's going to save me like 7 minutes of like having to wait and then just send it out. Now, let's talk about some of the bad things. There's still no option to import AAC audio
Mm.
on Linux. I don't even know if it's in Windows or Mac, but that is always confusing. Why is that a problem? If you record something with your phone or
Yeah,
like
camera.
camcorder, like that, it's going to be AAC. And which means that you got to take that video, drag it into Audacity or whatever you're going to use, then
Yeah, and
export
convert
that
it.
out, right?
Yeah.
Which is, it's silly, is what it is. But that's still a problem. And there's still no support for VST plugins in Linux
Mm.
in Resolve. I don't know why. Maybe they'll get around to it. Maybe not. It's not a game. It really wouldn't save me a lot of time now because I've spent so much time setting up a system to get around having to do any post audio. We do all of our 99% of our audio processing live, and I got a video coming out about that. Stay tuned. But yeah, there it is. It's a silly thing to get excited about, but man, that made my day. I was moderately pleased.
Yeah.
For an afternoon.
And also help you field all those questions and feedback we've gotten over the years about how do you do this if it doesn't support MP3?
Exactly.
How do you bring it in?
Here's the thing, Jill. KDN Live, at least.
Yeah. Does MP3 support?
At least.
Yeah.
But if you drag something into KDN Live that it doesn't understand, it lets you know.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going on. DaVinci Resolve doesn't do anything. You could drag
it just sits there.
You can drag ham into DaVinci Resolve and it won't just look at you sideways like, I don't know what that is. It will give you a warning. It will give you a pop-up notification. It's like RTFM. You didn't RTFM. And that is always fun. Recently, I think maybe last week, somebody had brought that up in the DaVinci Resolve support forums. Mm-hmm. Genuinely what they were replied with. That's in technical documentation page 1. Like, okay, fine. But, a little pop-up. It'd be nice. Just let new users know about things like that. A little bit of feedback. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Quick shout out. This show is brought to you by you. That's right.
Woohoo!
We got a Patreon, patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. You get access to our super secret Discord where we hang out in the other 6 days a week. It's always fun when somebody finally pops into our Discord. Like, what? Oh, hello, my people. And, we get a new person. I'm like, now we have our clutches. But you can also join our Discord if you subscribe to us on Twitch. You got some Bezo bucks. You might not know it, but you get Amazon Prime.
Twitch-o-not.
Yeah.
You can become a Twitch-o-not.
And you can play Trackmania with us. But
yeah,
if you do back us on Patreon, I brought up the pre-super shows and the Uncut. That's a little bonus extra podcast we have. If you missed the live show and you want it in audio format, or if you want to rewatch the video full with no edits, we'll make that available for you. Plus some early sneak peeks. The one I'm talking about, the audio, how I get the audio from Jill's PC over to a DAW, then over to an OBS PC in real time while it's getting processed and streamed and recorded. I'm covering that. I pretty much have to, I got the video done. I just got to lay out my diss track and
cool.
Stick that together. And I'm going to put that up for patrons a little bit early because, I'm like, hey, here's a sneak peek. What I'm really saying is find any typos I made.
Yeah. Spell check.
Yeah. Or
grammar check.
100%. You have complete freedom to actual me. 100%. Because I usually put it's about a week early, let everybody get a good look at them. But hey, thanks to each and every one of you. Stick around, your name's in the credits. That's how we do this. It's value for value, as they say on the internet. But let's get a slice of pie. This week, what are we talking about?
What did you find this week, Vin? What picture?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
That's
I
okay.
looked. I wanted... You would think, right? You would think a camera pie.
Yeah, I was going to say a picture pie.
Or a lens on it.
Yeah.
Google told me to go pound Yahoo.
You can find cakes that are camera shaped, but not pies.
Not pie. Not a thing. I was just like, what? I didn't know where to go after that. But this is our slice of pie segment. This is a megapixel. Is it just 1 megapixel though?
No, 64 megapixels to be precise.
That's a lot of megapixels.
Yeah. This is Raspberry Pi's new 64 megapixel camera. And this is honestly really, really exciting. We've never had this high resolution camera for the Raspberry Pi. And at this price, the pre-order, it's only it's 40% off right now at $35.99. Wow, that's that's incredible for a smartphone quality camera. And the pictures look really good. I was really impressed by the pictures, and I watched some of the videos. Very impressive.
Yeah, let's go down to whoa, all right, not safe for... Come on, guys, don't put that in the carousel.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, that looks completely serviceable.
Yeah, and it's got autofocus and digital zoom. Very cool.
Low light, all right.
Yeah, it takes good dark photos, and that's a new feature for the Raspberry Pi phone cameras. Have I'm sorry, the Raspberry Pi cameras have not been good with low light.
Now, yeah, these little ones have not. Now, we do need to put an asterisk on that and say, because I have some of the high quality Pi HQs with the interchangeable lenses. Those are better. But one that's just on a single board like this, I think this looks really good. I mean, it can do pretty high resolution video too. Did they put those stats in there?
Yeah, they did.
Here we go. Video mode.
At the very bottom.
1920 by 1080 at 60. If you wanted to get fancy, you can do 4624 by 3472 at 10. Oh, even better. 9152 at 6944 at 2.7. None of that.
Woo-hoo.
None of that peasant 2.0. 2.7. Now, how much would you pay? What does it work with? Pi 2, 3, CM3, 0W, 0W2, which I own. It's in a box that I've never used, and I want to do a video on it. All right. At this price, I might just pick one up. I don't know.
Yeah,
Do you,
play with it, definitely. And I like how you can, order the 3D printed camera shells for it.
yeah,
That's really cool. And there's a
right?
lot of really neat ones.
I
I
got
went
one
to, yeah.
like a plexiglass cutout for the Pi Zero W that turns that into like a camera case with. I eventually got to get around to making one, but I don't know if the world is ready for
Mhm.
Venhans in high def. That
Yeah.
might be too hot.
Oh,
Might be too much.
no.
It's
Oh, and
yeah,
I like the name of this camera. It's the 64 megapixel Pi Hawk Eye camera from Arducam.
they were the
Cool.
original Pi camera
Yeah,
manufacturers. Yeah,
they sure are.
huh. Yeah, there's a nice little case right there.
Yeah, I
I
like that.
mean,
That's all
if you see,
retro.
yeah, if you see somebody out and about and you see the USB 3 holes and Ethernet on the side, you can walk up to them and be like, "Hey, my people, what's up?" And you're gonna be able to conversation. Both of you are gonna enjoy it. So yeah, that's pretty dope. I like
Hmm.
that. That makes me happy.
Sweet.
Now, one last little bit. We do have a contact form if you want to have your message read on this not this very show, next week's show possibly. We don't
Yeah.
do time travel. That's bad.
Yes.
Star Trek has taught us multiple things about don't do that. That's how you end up with like Section 13. But if you want to get in contact with us, say something
Hmm.
we might read on the show, head over to our contact form, leave a YouTube comment or comment on the Patreon post, and we will get back to her. If you just got questions or something like that, it's not, like please do not read this on the show. We won't read it on the show. Probably. Now, last week, Jordan and I were talking. This is like double fun for me because Jordan used to work with Fedora. And
Yeah.
we were just talking, just in the middle of the conversation, and, Fedora had said, yo, we're going to be nuking X11 and all that. And I think we kind of breezed over it, but we were not very clear about this. And this is a fair point. From Professor Linux, Fedora is not removing X11. This is cool. This is real. He writes, in your recent episode, you claim that Fedora is removing X11 and going Wayland only. This is not the case. They're only removing X11 drivers for legacy hardware that doesn't have 3D acceleration. Anyway, you, sir, or ma'am, are correct. Fedora 37 will remove Xorg drivers for both the frame buffer dev and the generic Visa driver. That's what's going away, which is understandable, which means you're not going to be able to see a Tux logo when you boot, Jill.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, unless you have a video card made in the last 30 years. But
yeah, I know. We haven't seen that in a long time.
you're just going to have to let that Hercules graphics adapter, just let it go, man.
Yeah. Or my Matrox Millennium.
You know what? I bet those probably have some type of workable driver. They might not.
Yes.
Who knows? But
Matrox does.
I know they have Linux drivers. I just don't know how current they are.
Oh, current. Yeah,
it's been
they've been updated.
a long time since I messed with that. Now, eventually, Xorg itself is going to end up getting removed. Just 10 years from now.
Yes.
Save me on that. That's a joke, everyone. Various desktops that Fedora offers are going to shift over to Wayland, except XFCE.
Yeah, XFCE and my beloved Window Maker. Oh, won't run in Wayland yet.
Wayland does seem like the future. A lot of people, if you have Intel integrated, AMD, they're having a good time with it for the most part. And it's been astonishing for the stuff that I follow, like OBS, the support. Like that's pretty much up and running these days, and it's very much active development. And I do think, eventually everything's going to go over to it. GNOME's there, KDE's there.
It's coming.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to XFCE and look on the roadmap, it says Wayland. It's like, ha, 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 ha. That don't, not really, but close enough. I'm fine with X. Maybe that's just me being old. I'm at the point where new and exciting is only good when it's stable and tested. I am scared of new and exciting these days. I mean, I like to play with it, just not on my stuff. I'd be happy to come over to your house.
Yeah.
Let's get the new and exciting over here, and I'll come back here with my nice, boring Debian system where everything just works.
Debian love.
Man, I love Debian and all of the body kit distributions. You know,
Yes.
put the blinky lights and the spoilers on Debian.
I
Yeah,
love that
Wayland,
spiral.
right?
Yeah.
Right? NVIDIA's got to get their game together. NVIDIA slowly, very slowly, I'm not even going to say surely, but is slowly trying
Yeah.
to say,
Get
okay,
Wayland happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they've been sitting with their arms crossed in the pouty position going, you should have done it our way.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, no, we're going to do it like this. And just begrudgingly. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. This is...
Yeah. The future is going to be very, very exciting. I know they'll come up with a way to make my wonderful X window managers compatible with Wayland. And that'll happen, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So we'll be able to use IceWM and OpenBox and AfterStep.
I mean, on your retro Linux system, maybe.
Yeah.
Here's something I want you to think about, though. I want to see how NVIDIA reacts when AMD rolls out the Arc series GPUs. Because I have a gut feeling, we were talking about it on Saturday's show. Go back and watch that. I'm going to even bring it back up again this week. There's a lot of movement for HEVC 265 support in OBS getting added. And I can't figure out who's behind that, because it really seems that, there's already rumors that the new AMD cards are going to have AV1 encode.
Uh-huh. Exciting.
And Intel's already like, yeah, we're going to have AV1 encode.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Come on,
NVIDIA
Intel.
what's
we
NVIDIA
want them right
gonna
now.
Do? All right. NVIDIA's going to have to start playing ball all of a sudden. And it's going to be like watching Intel having to relearn how to play ball all of a sudden.
Yeah.
When Ryzen came out and Epic came out, and Intel's like, what? No. We were supposed to be able to overcharge and underdeliver. We're Intel. This is how we do things. And they, wanted to take like 5 years for them to start. And we're just seeing like price performance competitive products coming out of Intel again. Now, who knows? Maybe NVIDIA will be a quicker ship to turn around, and we'll start seeing a little more cooperation.
Cooperation in the open source world.
Yeah. But you know what? No matter what you do, NVIDIA, I'm not taking down my poster. So.
Yeah. Very true, Ben. Linus said it correctly.
Yeah. He said, I love you, NVIDIA. All right, everyone. We're running a bit long. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. How about some credits?
All.
Do I got things queued up? Maybe I do. Let's find out.
Ooh, let's see if the credits are queued up. We have lots of people watching in chat. We got Linux stuff. We got PT Dave 20. Wow, we've had a lot of people in. Of course, there's Artherin. We've got Gamatron. We got Alex from System 76. We have DeCresney. We have Beastwick. We have my Steve husband, of course. And so many more. We have so many wonderful patrons to thank, but we can't thank them all.
I want NVIDIA to be... NVIDIA needs to be number 2, possibly number 3.
Yeah. Oh, look at all those beautiful people on our credits.
Gang of people. If you haven't done it, hop into Discord. That's where we hang out the rest of the week. I'll be in there. She'll be.
Absolutely.
We'll be having NeoFetch trades. Those
yes.
work out
That's always fun.
They get weird sometimes. See you next week, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Need more Soma. See you in there. Aw, Justin. Yeah, we're trying to keep them around 30 minutes. Or just a little over.
How long?
I'd say 36 minutes.
Let's roll and. A little long, yeah. Hit that button. Okay, with credits and everything, we went a little long, about 44 this week.
Oh, okay, a little longer than I thought. It was such a fun. It was so much fun. It was a fun show.
Yeah, I had to go on the Wayland NVIDIA train at the end.
Yeah, we had to do a bit of that. Yeah. yeah, we got that feedback. So
It's pretty decent, though.
yeah, it was good.
It is,
Hello, FS Pinball is now following us. F Spinball.
what if it's pinball? You never know.
FS Pinball. F Spinball. It could go several ways. Or Spinball. I don't know.
But I will say this: the OBS thing. This is why I think NVIDIA might be involved in this, because NVIDIA has if you have a 10 series, 20 series, or 30 series NVIDIA card, you have a very incredible hardware encoder, 265 HEVC built into that. You're just not allowed to stream with it.
Yeah, true.
That's the only thing they have. You can't go back and retroactively add AV1 support to the hardware.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's a win-win.
Yeah, but
for everybody.
I'm glad you brought it up then, because that's something needs to be talked about with NVIDIA. I mean, come on. Get with the picture.
Well, the reason, the HEVC stuff, it's going to be a tricky thing. I want to see how they pull it off. If this is conspiracy theory. I'm the guy with a red yarn behind him right now. I'm just looking at tea leaves with one eye open. But the reason no one wants to push out 265 HEVC streaming to Twitch is because it is encumbered with patents. I don't have the full story on that. No, OBS team doesn't want to touch it, and they weren't going to touch it until it was completely royalty free. AV1, which is just use it, have at AV1 is comparative to 265 without all the licensing and stuff. So I want to see. Part of me is excited for the tech. The other part of me is excited to go sit in the bleachers with my popcorn. How are you going to pull this off?
And see what happens. See what NVIDIA does with it.
Sonic Spinball. I played that on the. That was on the. Oh.
Yeah. Oh yes. That's of course. That's
is that on the Mega Drive?
Would be short for.
Setting up a device.
I have played it, and I can't remember where.
I remember it being incredible. That was it was only pinball. It was Sonic, it was not.
Oh, Justin. Let's see. Your launch keyboard. Nice. Nice, Justin.
Mega Drive. All right.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Beastie.
Yeah. Who posted? Was that your?
Yeah, he had posted it when we were in the show.
All right.
Yeah.
Things look so tidy.
No, it's great. I need to pick up one myself. Maybe maybe the one I get will be one of the ones that Linux Guru put together
You better
on
hope
the
not.
weekend. Yeah.
It'll smell like Doritos and gin.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kidding. It'll smell
Oh,
like
Alex
vodka.
is gonna tell. Alex is gonna tell. We're talking about you, Linux Guru, Alex. I think he had to take off though.
If they had an ergonomic keyboard, I'd be down. But yeah, I just can't rock and roll with
75% is it's my favorite form factor, but I understand how some people wouldn't like it.
Mm-hmm. Some of us have number pads that we need.
Yeah, well, I have a USB number pad I plug in when I need it, which is not that often. So, I do when I'm doing animation work and editing and stuff. But
I can use mine as a remote. That's wireless.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works too.
But I use this because this number pad has a backspace button on the top of it, which is right next to my trackball. In DaVinci Resolve, I can slam that backspace button with my thumb with my trackball as delete. Which you don't press delete in DaVinci Resolve because things go haywire. You hit backspace to remove things from the timeline.
Yeah. I still have an editing dial. In fact, I bought a newer one for using Kden Live in DaVinci. Makes it a lot easier to scroll through the timeline when you have long projects.
Someone buy me that $500 keyboard.
Yeah, yeah, you need that, Vin, actually.
I don't even think, I don't have that stuff like that on our wish list because I don't know if I'd have any respect left for somebody who bought a $500 keyboard, even if it was for me. I'd use it.
Yeah.
But, no, I think the next thing I gotta buy is water cooling. Gotta buy a water cooler for this Threadripper. The only one I found one.
Oh, it's getting too hot sometimes.
No, it's because I got that 3060 in there.
Oh, yeah, you put the 3060 in. Okay.
3060 doesn't have a back plate.
Ah, so it gets pretty hot. That's right.
And
I remember
then I got a
talking about it.
Threadripper cooler, which touches it.
Oh. That's right. Now I'm remembering that conversation.
So I had to cut out a block of nylon and like slide between the two and push them back together. I'm like, all right, it's holding.
Oh, but that's a good solution.
Not if you like sleeping.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I've had GPUs where the backplate is too thick to fit on the motherboard because the PCIe slot is too close to the processor, and I was like, oh god.
I have nothing but praise for the Noctua Threadripper cooler, but it is next level because you see like the dual tower coolers for like the new Ryzens. Those things are they're big, but they're itsy bitsy compared to this thing. This thing it's got a 140 millimeter fan on the front and back of it.
Yeah, nice big tall honking boy.
It does eventually, but here's the problem. Like, there's the one water cooler, which was the Intermax, which when I got the Threadripper, this was the only air cooler available. And the only other like water cooler that people were using was that Intermax one, which it just clogged up and leaked and died, which I had that thing in my cart at one point. Like I was like, do I risk it? But fortunately the Noctua thing came out. But
oh good. Yeah,
there's not a lot of full plate coverage. I found Cooler Master. Cooler Master's got one that, and here's another requirement. I'm not having RGB fans, Jill Bryant.
Yes, I know. Yeah, we went the classic Noctua. Well, you can get them, and I just put black ones in one of my cases, so they have them now, different colors than gray and puce brown.
Girlfriend, I don't care who makes them, but they're not going to blink.
Yeah.
I don't need something blinking under this desk when I'm trying in here working. But I found one with no blink fans, but you're never going to find one with no blink fans and a no blink water block.
Yeah, I know. That is an issue. Yes.
I will think the closest thing to that. Everyone give Arthur a shout out for that Corsair.
Yeah, the Corsair one. It wasn't that blinky, was it?
No, it doesn't blink at all. It's just
good.
It might, but by default, it's just got the white, but most of it's blacked out. There's just the little Corsair logo on it. And that was the one where I didn't think it was ever going to, we just bought it for an experiment. That's what I had it up there. I'm like, because it has that little tiny radiator that fits on the back. So 120 millimeter.
Yeah.
And it's worked like a charm ever since. And I'm sure that I said that it's leaking as we speak, but I don't know. I come from those days of I've gotten the water cooling out of my system.
Yeah, I know. Same here. I never had an accident. I was always so the first water cooling system I put together like 10 years ago or whatever. And I never had an accident, but it always made me nervous. So, oh gosh.
I like the AIOs. I've never smoked the system. Now I've found leaks, but back when I was doing this, it was all hardline. And there were no boutique parts. I mean, I've milled my own water block.
Yeah, now it's all in one kits, and they're just easy peasy.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Like if you've ever caught me doing any plumbing, where did I learn how to sweat copper pipes? Making water cooling systems.
Yeah.
For my PC. Not for anything around the house, which I'm bad at, by the way. But I can I can get a seal around it. I can suck that solder in.
Nice.
But yeah, same way with the blocks, making that, going to the store, going to the fish people store.
Yeah, and getting all the tubes and the parts.
Yeah,
I did it with
marine pumps and all that.
I did it with my brother, but he knew plumbing, so he knew how to do it. And I went to the store with him, and he told me all the parts I needed, and he helped me with it.
Yeah.
In fact, I still have that system. I haven't turned it on in a long time, but it's an old
Yeah. See, like
Xeon.
I didn't have much faith in because I did a lot of copper pipe stuff where I could. I'd use the flex tube in a lot of places, but I have trust issues with that. But all those really, anytime you start doing hardline, that system is for that motherboard in that case.
Yeah.
And anytime something gets swapped out, that was wondered how easy water cooling is to a car radiator. You wouldn't want to use a car radiator. Something we typically used back in the day, back in the 90s. Get off my lawn. Were heater cores.
Oh, yeah.
Your heater cores. That's what provides your hot water from if you have a water-cooled engine. When you cut the heat on, that's where that water gets dumped, and it, you have forced induction behind it, and that blows the hot air. Unless you have actual heaters. It's usually a mix these days, but yeah, heater cores. The resistance on those is pretty good. You can do a full-size car radiator if you want. Might be overkill. I mean, I don't think you would ever heat saturate that much water. I used to I had an evaporative cooling setup, which was kind of neat. Then I got tired of having a waterfall in my room 24/7.
Oh, yeah.
You think it's neat. It's peaceful for about a week. That gets old. Have fun with Lenovo.
Oh, bye, Justin.
I was thinking about getting Lenovo. Speaking of Lenovo, they got the Lenovo. You make this hard. I could make a business decision to buy a Threadripper Pro pre-built.
Nah.
Here's the thing. I think it's a P920. They got a Threadripper Pro. You open up the case, you look inside the case, it's only got 5 available PCIe holes.
That's the problem for you, yeah.
When a Threadripper Pro supports as many as Epic, I should have like 11 full size.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, there's no way I'll fill up, 2x8s and 2x6. Man, those things were full the first day.
Wow, because, I'm thinking I have and this is from years ago, I have a Pentium Pro motherboard that has 10 PCI slots on it. And because that's what they did, with those workstation motherboards back in the day. I am a little surprised that the Threadrippers, they haven't put
They're pre-built, yeah. I mean, everything else about it's legit, but I can't make the business decision. I'm like, that is one more port than I have?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you need at least a dozen, right, for a full tower.
Well, not about. Let's see. Let's count them together as a
full
class.
AT.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
I'm satisfied with 7.
It doesn't have to be 12. It can be 7.
And $2,000 sounds like a lot to you. Realize this motherboard's $900. So buying a pre-built doesn't sound so bad when the motherboard by itself is going to cost you $1,000 after tax.
Yeah, true.
What is the? Let me see if I have an example of. Let me make sure it is Lenovo. I'm getting to that age. I'm like, P620. P620. Do they have an internal shot? P620. Motherboard.
Well, I keep thinking IBM Think Center because I have had quite a few of those. Yeah.
Right. That's what they look like.
Yeah.
Really, I don't mind the styling. Okay, here we go. This is what you get inside.
Ah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then you get 2x8s.
Oh.
So
Okay.
really what you get is, let's put that 2-slot video card in any of these combinations. So this one, the first i16 is good, and you're going to lose the by 8. So what you really have is 1, 2, 3 by 16s and 1 by 8. Lenovo.
Yeah, Lenovo.
Yeah, Lenovo. 100%. You had me sold, Lenovo. I was willing to cut you that $2,000 check until I saw that, and I'm like, no, that's not why. And it's a Threadripper Pro. Yeah. Whatever. You know what? I'm not legitimately upset, just severely disappointed.
Yeah.
RAM cooling? Yeah. See, that's another thing you got to deal with. It doesn't matter if you get it from Dell, Lenovo, HP. You got to deal with everything. You're going to, A, deal with that outdated steel chassis. B, everything clicks into place. Zero tooling case design. Everything has to snap in, and it's always confusing. Always confusing. Mm-hmm. It's counterintuitive to how you think it would work, but they make it for Jim in the IT department to be able to fix. It's like, big block out, other block in, smash, click, done. So.
Needs loud Delta fan. Yeah. I have a couple of Delta fans.
I have one of those 80mm tornado fans I bought as a novelty. You want a fan that you can genuinely hear from outside. You know what? The screwdriver, toolless design is awesome right up until that thing doesn't work and there's no option B.
Yeah. There's a lot of advantages to it, but yeah, the disadvantages are if you don't have the right tool for the job, you're kind of screwed. Literally. Where
your locking mechanism breaks and your entire cage is like, what do I do now? Did you go get my taps out and spot weld this thing into place? What? But for other things, big kudos. I don't know if it was the HP or one of these Dells down here, but the power supply died in one of them recently. And I got a replacement power supply for it. I'm like, well, this is going to be interesting. I didn't think it was going to be fun. This is going to be an adventure. No, the entire power supply brick ratchets it. The whole thing just comes up and you slide it out. Slap another one in. Click it back in place. Done.
Was that one of the Dells? Because they're usually...
I don't remember if it was the Dell or the HP. Yeah.
HPs are good too, but I know the Dell Minis are really easy with that. they're awesome.
It was cheaper to buy a replacement power supply than it was just to replace the fan that had died in the original.
Oh, yes.
All right, I'll just get another power supply, man. Whatever.
Yeah, I've got quite a few of those small form factor Optiplexes too. And I had bought a couple extra power supplies for them just because, I saw them so cheap.
The Dell Optiplex, also known as the Internet's budget gaming rig.
Yep, absolutely.
But you don't impress me unless you have the side panel cut out to fit your And these have been upgraded. Pennywise gave me the Mac updated i7s and RAM. They're strung out 3010s.
Yeah, I put 32 gigs in one of mine because it's got a Ryzen 5 in it. It's one of the few Optiplex series that has Ryzen chips, the 5055s.
Oh, really?
And I've got 3 of those because they are kind of rare. So I grabbed a couple of them, and I've been using them for, I did show notes on one of them. Give them love.
I don't even know how much. I'm sure they're in these things. 8 gigs? Yeah. That's about what they need. All right. Hey, everyone, it's 4:30. Do you know where we're not going to be?
Yeah.
Spoilers. Cool.
I gotta go for a nice walk and get my exercise.
And go to the
And
beach,
have a
make a sandcastle.
Nice lunch. Yeah. Oh yeah, today's a perfect day for that.
I don't know if I've ever made a sandcastle.
Oh yeah, I've made. We used to have sandcastle contests, and we'd spend a month on one. And I helped build a VW bug one time out of sand. That was cool.
I mean, if I could find a way to weaponize sandcastles, I could probably get into it.
Yeah.
Like a malicious sandcastle. That'd be fun. Cool, everyone. We had a great time hanging out with you, and we'll be back. Me and Jill will be back probably on Friday.
Yeah.
Running around in circles and flying off
Yeah.
tracks. We really were driving around in circles. On
It
that one
literally
track.
loops, and it was hard to get out of that one loop until we figured it out. Kept going around and around.
That one I popped immediately into spectator because I'm like, everyone's going to do exactly what I did the first time on this map.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going around.
Which
in circles.
Which lane?
Right.
I knew, I immediately found the rightmost lane. But when you get in there, I didn't know which left lane.
Right. The
and I
first
kept
one,
going
then you
to
get the
last
second one, and then you got to figure out.
Yeah.
It's a good time. We welcome anyone that wants to pop in and give it a try. I got to go in and.
Nice game of Tron. You've gotten so good. You've really improved.
100%. 100%. I mean, you can immediately see like the performance. Like anytime I'm like, fine, I'm going to sit down and really figure out the physics of this. And once I do, they started up at the top. Cool. Bye, everyone.
Yay. Bye, everyone.
Jordan will be back tomorrow
Love you
with
all.
something. I have no idea what. Probably
Cybertruck?
Fall Guys or something. Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Like, who knows? Danger.
Night, Gamatron. Night, everyone. Night, Artherin. Night, Steve Husband. Or, sorry.
night,
Sorry.
Steve.
Good afternoon.